My dear friends in Christ, yesterday we asked us to observe carefully, to listen attentively, and to meditate deeply in the happenings, in the celebrations of this period. And so today, Holy Thursday, the sacred Triduum, the sacred Paschal Triduum, with the celebration of the Lord's Supper, will commence. First, we have already celebrated Mass of the Chrism Mass, which ordinarily took place this morning, or in some places it may have taken place Wednesday or Tuesday or even Monday, but very close to Easter celebration. The high point of the Chrism Mass is the blessing of the oil of the sick. You remember Mark chapter 6 verse 13, when Jesus sent his 12 apostles 2 by 2, he commanded them to heal the sick, and when they went, they anointed the sick with oil and they cured them. In James chapter 5 verse 14, the apostle will tell us that if anyone is sick among us, the person should call the priest of the church to anoint the sick person. And so the church at Chrism Mass blesses oil of the sick, which will be used from today till next Chrism Mass to anoint the sick. When there is a sick call, someone is sick and a priest is called, it is this oil that was blessed today at Chrism Mass that is used to anoint the sick person. And then the priest prays for the sick person so that the prayer of faith may raise the sick person. Secondly, during the celebration, there was the blessing of the oil of catechumen, the oil that will be used for baptism, beginning from Holy Saturday, the Virgin Mass of the Lord's Resurrection, for those that will be baptized at Easter. And this oil will be used all through the year, till next year, Chrism Mass, when a new one will be blessed. And so this oil of the catechumen is usually used to anoint the chest or the hands of those to be baptized. The infants, it is used to anoint their chest, and for the adults, it is used to anoint their hands. And so, this oil of catechumen is used to ward off evil, and then to give strength to the one to be baptized, to face temptations and to fight against temptations. Then the high point is the consecration of the Chrism oil, from where the Mass takes its name, Mass of the Chrism. The Chrism is a mixture of olive oil and balsam, and it is consecrated by the bishop. It is used for the ordination of priests. Their hands are anointed. Consecration of bishops, their hands are anointed, and then their heads are anointed with the oil of chrism. At baptism too, this oil is equally used. After baptism, it is used to anoint the crown of the baptized. At confirmation, the same oil is used to anoint the confirmed. This helps us to recall the threefold office of Jesus, who is a priest, a prophet, and a king. We recall Luke chapter 4 from verse 16 to 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. So at baptism, to show that common priesthood, the baptized is anointed with the oil of chrism. This having been done in the morning, this evening now sees us with the celebration of the Lord's Supper, that commemorates the institution of the Holy Eucharist. That night, Jesus established the Eucharist. We recall this event from Matthew chapter 26, from verse 26 to 30. Mark chapter 14, from verse 22 to 26. Luke chapter 22, from verse 14 to 20. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, from verse 23 to 26. And so this Mass of the Lord's Supper begins at a convenient time in the evening, where the faithful will gather together to celebrate the Eucharist. And the celebration of this Eucharist, enough host is consecrated, because the next day, Good Friday, the Mass will not be celebrated, because every Mass is the enactment of the death of Jesus. And so the Eucharist that is consecrated on Holy Thursday, Mass of the Lord's Supper, is to be received on Good Friday. That is, the people of God receive on Holy Thursday, and then it is reserved again for reception on Good Friday. At this celebration of the Lord's Supper, there is the washing of feet, which helps us to remember what Jesus did in John chapter 13, from verse 1 to 15. While at table, Jesus removed his outer garment and began to wash the feet of his disciples, to show that he himself was a servant leader, to show his humility, and then to ask us in the same way to imitate that gesture, to show that a Christian, every Christian, is called to serve others. At the end of the celebration of the Lord's Supper, the Eucharist is transferred to the altar of repose. There, the people of God will process and go to the altar of repose, where the Eucharist is adored. We recall the command of Jesus, Matthew chapter 26, verse 40. Keep watch with me at least for 1 hour. When the Eucharist is in repose, the people of God will remain for adoration. And then I ask you, will you be part of tonight's celebration? Will you be part of the celebration of the Lord's Supper? Will you be part of the adoration? If I conclude this, let us look at this. When Jesus and his disciples were in the room celebrating the Lord's Supper, every one of the disciples received the Eucharist. They received grace. The person received the Eucharist, and Satan entered him. We see this in John chapter 13, from verse 21 to 30. Who was that? Judas. Why? Because he was not well disposed. He already had a wicked heart, a wicked soul. And this is what St. Paul will warn us in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, from verse 23. That for us to receive the Eucharist, we must be prepared. We must examine our conscience. And so, is there anything that will make you not to receive the Eucharist? Is there anything that will make you to receive the Eucharist unworthily? Think about it and walk towards reconciliation with your God. See you tomorrow, Good Friday. God bless you and have a fruitful celebration of the Lord's Supper.